Rare historical images you have not seen before.
British Major General Horatio Gordon Robley poses in a photo with his 1895 collection of dried heads of native New Zealand settlers. Mass grave number 3. The Nazis murdered 50,000 people in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. The man standing among the countless bodies is the camp doctor Fritz Klein, who was hanged for his role in the massacres in December 1945. Klein's job was to decide which prisoners were still fit for work. Motorcycles in harness. Australia, 1936. Divers in 1940. Family bicycle, 1939. Cat meat seller, London, 1933. People living in a village on the Niger River were constantly missing their neighbors going out to fish, so they had to turn to the army to hunt down the culprit. It was a crocodile, 7 meters long and weighing 200 kilos.
Nazi monster. This girl was a warden in the women's concentration camp at Auschwitz. Every day she murdered hundreds of Jewish and Roma women in every possible way. But at one point, her cruelty exceeded all limits. She turned the prisoners into...
In 1993, 3 teenagers were arrested and convicted of killing 3 boys. 2 were sentenced to life imprisonment, and the 3rd received the death penalty. The case was built on false confessions, societal bias, and accusations of Satanism. In the end, 2 were released in 2011. Jason, one of the lifers, said, "Honestly, we all went through this horrible time in our own way and experienced it in different ways. So now I think we all have different ways to heal." Stevie Branch, Mikhail Moore, and Christopher Byers were only 8 years old when they were killed by an unknown assailant. To this day, the murders have never been solved. Hitler and a frostbitten soldier trying to greet the Führer, 1940. Myrtle Corbin, a girl born in 1868 with a double pelvis and 4 legs. Myrtle spent her entire life in the circus, but later married a doctor, had 5 children, whom she bore using her 2 reproductive systems, and lived to be 60. Bonnie and Clyde were ambushed and killed on May 23, 1934, on a rural road in Bienville, Louisiana. 167 bullets pierced the car, more than 110 of them hitting the bandits. Bonnie about 60, Clyde about 50. In this picture, 2 parents pose with their dead daughter. Photographers' work in those years cost exorbitant money, so people were photographed only on the most significant occasions, namely births, weddings, and deaths. The Nazi sex conveyor in the concentration camps, the Germans used women not only as objects of sexual gratification, but also as scientific material. Not everyone had the strength to endure the abuse. Girls with large breasts were cut off. They cut off their hair and sent them to brothels. Hygiene was carefully monitored because venereal infections cost them their lives. Horrible experiments were conducted on infected prostitutes. The skeleton of Siamese twins at the Mutter Museum.